One of the benefits of being on a Glatt Kosher cruise, you get to meet some very interesting people from around the world. We're speaking right now with Michael and Sylvia Goldhirsch. They are from Melbourne, Australia. Michael is a solicitor, that means lawyer in English, if you don't understand what the word solicitor means. And he also a former treasurer and executive at Lubavitch Yeshiva Center in Melbourne. And Sylvia went to law school but didn't finish. We'll talk to her about some of her activity as well. Nice to meet you on the boat. Good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be with you.
What's your specialty in law?
My specialty in law is commercial law and property law, and have been practicing for about 48 years with a varied practice and a lot of Jewish clientele and a lot of religious Jewish clientele.
You ever make the newspapers?
We've made the newspapers several times, but in varied cases, but we've tried to stay under the radar as much as possible.
So now you studied law but didn't actually finish, correct?
Yes, my father wasn't a great believer that girls should go to university, so my mother went to bat for me, and I did start law. My father said, you could be a secretary to get married, you don't need to study law. So I did 3 years and I got a Bachelor of Jurisprudence. I went to see the Dean of the Law School to tell him that I wasn't going to continue with my studies, which would have been another 2 years, and I was going to take up a Diploma of Education, which the Australian government paid you to study for, as there was a great shortage of secondary school teachers at the time. He looked at my results and he looked at me and said, Sylvia, anyone can be a school teacher, but you have the opportunity to be a lawyer. And I had made up my mind, and I went ahead with the decision that Michael and I had made, that we wanted to get married, and one of us had to be earning an income at the time. Many, many years later, my husband ran into Professor Waller, who was the Dean of the Law School at the time when I was there. And they were chatting about different things, and Professor Waller said, and how is your wife? And Michael said, yeah, she's great, she's busy with grandchildren and family. And Professor Waller said, I want you to know that she did the right thing.
By not becoming a lawyer?
By making the choices that I made, rather than being so career-minded and fixating on a law degree. So my father was right.
But you can still do it now if you like.
I went back.
You went back?
I did a year of family law and then really decided I didn't want to be a lawyer.
That's a different decision. Now, you are, of course, a member of the Lubavitch Hasidic community.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've gone to Crown Heights. You met with the Rebbe?
Met with the Rebbe several times at dollars. We went past the Rebbe.
How many dollars? Did he give you Australian currency?
No, he gave me American currency, and we went through many times on Sundays for dollars, and we received brachos as we passed by, and the Rebbe said to my wife, she was the Keres HaBais, the cornerstone of the house, and he gave us a lot of brachos, and we were very fortunate to have been able to meet with him. Yeah, and there was a very, very interesting story that happened, which was involved with Australian dollars as well, and that was that one time when we went by the Rebbe gave me $1 for Australia, and then and I was about to move away, and the Rebbe, they called me back, and the Rebbe gave me a second $1 for Australia, and then a third $1 for Australia, then a fourth $1 for Australia, and a fifth $1 for Australia. And I said to the Rebbe, thank you, each time, and the Rebbe says, don't thank me, thank Australia. Now, I didn't know what that meant, and I'm still not 100% sure today what that meant, but what happened was when we came back to Australia, a year or two later, there was a government grant available for schools to build buildings for the capital building grant, and the form came to our school and it was given to me, And I thought, well, we should apply for the government grant to build a building. And so I employed an architect who was experienced in applying for school grants, for building, capital grants. And I asked him to prepare plans and an application for the capital grant. And he said to me, look, I'm happy to do it for you, but you're wasting your time because only a very few schools, maybe 2 or 3 schools out of hundreds that apply, will receive the capital grant. So I said, no, go ahead and apply for it. And he said, and we actually got the first grant, and we built the first building.
Did you use one of the dollars from the Rebbe?
No, I didn't, not at the time. And then the next year, the form came again. And I rang him up again, and I said, please make another application. And he says, you're wasting your time. No school has ever got it the second time. It's impossible. You will not get it. It's just, you're wasting your money. And I said, no, apply again. And he applied again, and we got it the second time in a row, which was absolutely incredible. The third year came along, and again the form came in, and I went to him and I said to him, apply again for the third building. We had built one building and then a second building, and this is applying for the third building. And he said to me, it is absolutely impossible. It's never, ever, ever, ever happened that somebody has received it the third time. I said, no, put it in. And he said, if you get it the third time, I will go naked down the main street of Melbourne, walk through absolutely naked. And of course, we got it the third time. Then
But you didn't say what he did.
What? He didn't know. He didn't walk down the street. He was just flabbergasted. The fourth time, again, we applied again, and we got it the fourth time. This time he said he would be Megaya if we got it, but I don't know if that should include that in. And then again the fifth time. After we got it the fifth time, each time we built another building with the money, was added to total millions of dollars, and it was a considerable sum. And when we built the fifth building, which was the Mochkin Wing, we were nearly finished, and the principal wanted to start the school. Wanted to start the school year early, before the 3 weeks, because he didn't want to have the school move into the building.
This is a Jewish school, obviously.
Jewish school, a
Chabad school, or?
Chabad school and yeshiva, and he didn't want to move in during the 3 weeks. So we had a meeting in the one of the classrooms, which was not quite finished, and we had a little table in the middle of the room. And we came in. There was the principal, who was Jewish, myself, the architect, who was not Jewish, the builder, who was not Jewish, and the foreman, who was not Jewish. And we came in and we spread the plans on the table. We're looking at the plans, and the principal had put in a tzedakah box and a picture of the Rebbe and a Tanya into the room as a sign that we have occupied the building. And during the discussions about the plans and how to finish off the building, I remembered that the Rebbe had given me $1 for Australia. So I took $1 out of my pocket, an Australian dollar, and I went over to the tzedakah box, which was across the room over next to the window, and put in $1. A few minutes later, and I went back to the discussion about the plans. A few minutes later, the Jewish principal, went and took $1 out of his pocket, went over to the tzedakah box across the room, and put another $1 in. A few minutes later, the architect, who was not Jewish, took $1, from his pocket and went over to the tzedakah box, put in the dollar. A few minutes later, the foreman, who was not Jewish, went over to the tzedakah box, took out $1 and put in $1. The builder, who was not Jewish, was looking at us and wondering, what are these people doing? They're just, they're going over there putting dollars in. So he put his hand in his pocket, went over to the tzedakah box and put in $1. And that's how the 5th building was finished, with $5 put into the tzedakah box after the $5 that the Rebbe gave me for Australia.
I assume you didn't get a 60.
After that, we didn't apply because it was just...
You were afraid.
I think the government was out of money by then.
By then, there was nothing left.
They
But
could have gotten $1 from the Rebbe too.
yeah, that's right. So the Rebbe's dollars work.
It was quite an extraordinary moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for sharing that story. Well, nice to have seen you here on the cruise, and thank you.
And we have
Okay.
a beautiful school campus now
Because of it.
because of that.
Because
Did
of
you
the
frame
Rebbe's
those
dollars.
dollars that the Rebbe gave you?
No, because I didn't, at the time, I didn't relate it to the school, and I just put it together with got the dollars in the safe, but I can't actually identify the exact dollars for those times. But, okay. Do you want another story?
Well, thank you. No problem. I'm sure you have a lot of good stories, but that's a great story for the dollars, and I'm sure it'll get people thinking. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that with us.
All right, well, okay, fine. Thank you.